We haven't talked a ton about free agents that are going to be available, about people that the Bears could go out in the draft and get, about players that you think could make an impact for this team. But PFF has already started that process. PFF put out an article on the best free agent that every team could go get that makes the most sense for their team. And for the Chicago Bears, they bring up edge, which I love because now you can completely focus on offensive line in the draft. Josh Sweat out of Philly, 27 years old. He's going to be a free agent this season. He has been an absolute monster as always. 8 sacks on the season, 27 solo tackles, 7 assisted tackles on the season. Just somebody who can continue to get the pressure. Pass rush grade better than his run defense grade, but not by a crazy amount. He's somebody who can make an impact at every part of the defense, and somebody who I think would be really good opposite Montez Sweat. Now, the reason that they bring up Josh Sweat in this conversation is because the Bears are going to have some money. You would assume that you're letting Keenan Allen walk. And for the second straight year, the Bears are going to have a surplus of spending value up to $80 million to be exact. So why not go after a big fish? The current Eagle has been terrific over the past 4 years, ranking 24th in PFF's pass rushing grade and 22nd in wins above replacement. That's the stat that I think really excites me with Josh Sweat. If you paired him up with Montez Sweat, who had 49 pressures this season, 14.7% pass rush win rate, you're talking about one of the top duos in the NFL. Would that be somebody that you think the Bears could convince to come here to Chicago?
I think so. And that will be a good get, honestly. You get a guy like that who can get the pressure, and that's kind of been the problem this season. I watched so many games where I've seen the Bears barely put enough pressure on the quarterback. I've seen that pocket almost look clean for these quarterbacks that we're playing against. So if we can get somebody opposite of Montez Sweat, who can, you got Sweat on both edges, you know what I'm saying, rushing the quarterback, that just opens everything for this defense to flourish, you know, and at the end of the day, this is what you need. So, yeah, I do think they should put some money into the defense, specifically the trenches. The trenches should be your focus on both sides of the ball this season. Yeah. That's it. The trenches. We got everything else. The trenches is it. If they do this, we could be like Philadelphia and be a team, that puts good pressure on the quarterback and able to get some sacks.
Go ahead, JC.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm playing devil's advocate with this one because I'm not that impressed. I'm impressed to the point where yes, he would be an upgrade, but as the same conversation with the head coaching, getting Josh Sweat in the building is kind of like getting maybe Brian Flores or Pete Carroll or even a Mike McCarthy. You're getting an above average person in the building that could change a few statistics, that could move the needle a little bit, but I want somebody that's going to move the needle and just break the Richter scale. I wanted a premium, superior edge rusher. You get Josh Sweat in the building, you're basically just imitating what you got when you brought Montez Sweat. And not saying that that's a bad thing, because you do need somebody on the other end that's going to create a little bit more pressure. But we saw in the beginning of the season that all of those guys, whether it was Darrell Taylor, whether it was DeMarcus Walker, whether it was Austin Booker, they looked as if they were creating pressure. They had some of the better rush run rates and pressures for the first couple of weeks, and then it just fell off the table. So are we just saying that we're going to get a guy that could maybe fit into that mold, maybe a little bit better than those guys, but not necessarily be an impact, like true impact player, game after game, down after down? I like these numbers. His best sack season was 11 in 2022. That's okay. That's good. That's good. Don't get me wrong. Double figure sacks.
11 is pretty elite, dog. What are we talking about?
11 is nice.
Yeah, but I mean, nice. Like Myles Garrett gets you 18, 19. Like,
he ain't Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett ain't available.
And that's my point.
But JC, that might be the problem. The problem might be that might be the best that's out there available.
Premium meat? Is that what you just said?
No, I didn't. I said I want somebody elite. But if you want to go, I do want a premium meat. I do want a grade A edge rusher. We need a tomahawk version of edge rusher. I don't want the just the pot roast version of meat. Okay, need the premium steak, premium cut.
But who'd you go out there and get then? If you were Ryan Poles If you was Ryan Porter, Jordan, who'd you go out there and get there?
I'm drafting my next premium rusher. I'm drafting that guy. That's why I said I wouldn't mind getting DJ Moore and a second round Carolina pick to move up. At 4, I'm getting Abdul Carter, and then I'm also getting Will Campbell. I'm addressing both sides of the trenches. Bada bing, bada boom.
We get that. We also get that compensatory pick too, right? For
because
third if Ian Cunningham takes a job somewhere else for
like
this
he
year.
Might be gone this year too. That's another one too.
Yeah.
And Keenan Allen, right? If Keenan Allen goes,
you would
goes
get
elsewhere?
a compensatory. Depends on what Keenan Allen signs for, but you can get up to a compensatory third. But at worst, it'd be a 4th that you basically got rid of.
It's not bad.
I think here's my
Trey
here's
Hendrickson.
my thing
Thank you, Drew. Yeah.
When Josh Sweat comes up is that you're going to have 2 guys who can create a high level of pressure. The conversation now becomes, what does that do for the guys that you paid the big money on the back end who can't do their job the right way because of the fact that you can't maintain pressure? What does that do for Jalen Johnson? What does that do for? Remember what happened to Kyler Gordon? Not Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon, right?
Yeah.
No.
Side quarterback?
Nope. I always throw their names together. Kyle Fuller.
Oh,
remember what happened
Bears.
to Kyle Fuller?
Yeah.
When pressure was available. When we were getting to the quarterback, when we were forcing quarterbacks to make bad decisions. That's why I think a guy like Josh Sweat makes sense. You go out and you spend money on him. You can focus the rest of your money or the rest of your draft capital and probably some of the money as well on the offensive side of the football. You got to pay some of the guys that you have in the building. They're going to be up for contract. But if you're having a conversation about Josh Sweat, to me, you're talking about increasing the pressure, making those back end guys better. You're talking about increasing the pressure, making the Kyler Gordons, the Jaquan Briskers, the Kevin Byards, the Jalen Johnsons better. You're talking about the guy that everybody has been beefing with for the last season and last 2 seasons, Tremaine Edmonds, actually being able to do his job and not have to focus on putting pressure on the quarterback. It's great to have all of these pieces. It's great to have wide receivers. We got wide receivers. We got DBs. We got linebackers. We got running backs. We got all this stuff. We have no trenches. So none of them matter.
Yep.
And so for me, I think your focus needs to be getting Montez Sweat back on track, getting him back to having the season that you hope that he's going to be able to have. For you to do that, get somebody opposite of him that can rush. Josh Sweat to me is a guy like that. Now, if you want to go big and go like Trey Hendrickson,
absolutely, that was the name I was thinking
about.
That's
a trade.
I'm
Trey
fine.
Hendrickson is still under contract.
Right. Yeah. So like for free agency, like that might be your and Josh Sweat is a really good player. I mean, honestly, I'm not saying he's like on the level of Henderson or whatever the case may be, but if you can go out and get him and you don't have to give up any assets to get him, that might be your best bet. I'm with that.
Yeah, see, to me, that's all fine and dandy, but here's another thing that we might be overlooking. What happened to Montez Sweat this year? We all assumed he would build off of that 12.5 sack season from last year. We all assumed that, they got more pressure on the defensive end. Javon Dexter's going to take a step forward, which he did technically at the beginning of the season. Big Man Billings is going to clog up the middle. That's going to create more holes and more space for Montez to do his thing. And he ended with his second worst sack season in his career with 5.5. So that's my question is, do you think that he's going to get back on track? We hope. I certainly hope he will. But there's a lot of hope in this building right now. Like, I don't want another person on the other end just getting 5.5 sacks. That's my question mark too. Is Montez was playing hurt? I see some people saying that in the chat.
Yeah.
However, I still find it that it was a very underwhelming season. Every single game he played hurt.
Well, I mean, it's not like you get healthier.
Right. And then he got double teamed a lot too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can just hone in and focus on it.
I will say this. I never give you, I'm not going to say never. I do understand the double team excuse. They double team a lot of dudes. Yeah. They double team Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett still gets to the quarterback. Yeah, I mean they double team Trey Hendrickson. He still gets to the quarterback. They double team TJ Watt. He ain't get to the quarterback in the playoffs.
He really different.
Yeah, I mean, but like there's a lot of guys get double teamed and they still make an impact. The one thing that I think you do have to say though is if Montez Sweat isn't that guy, then you need to absolutely help him on that other side. He seems like when he was being double teamed and triple teamed and all that, he wasn't able to be that guy. Now, at the same time, we saw that with Khalil Mack, who's also available in free agency.
I would bring Khalil Mack back right away.
Available in free agency in theory.
He has not fallen off.
Anybody in on Khalil Mack?
Absolutely.
Return of the Mack.
He is not falling off.
That would be hilarious.
I'm trying to see what was his stats for this year? Because I know the previous year that man like
was a lot lower. He was down like 6 sacks.
Yeah, but he's going to create that pressure. He'll create that pressure, and he puts fear in the heart of the player across the way from him.
Yeah. 6 sacks, 17 the previous year. Yeah.
Could you imagine if him and Montez Sweat?
Did you just lick your lips at that possibility? That was crazy. Did anybody else see that? He said,
little sweaty back. Okay.
I mean, tasty propositions, man. I like winning.
You like that Max Sweat, huh? You like that Max Sweat? That's what you're saying?
If we can get Mac back, I mean, obviously it just depends on what number we're looking at, right? Like how much does he want, but man, if you can get him back and he's healthy, I'll take it.
He has been talking about retiring. Yeah,
well, that's what he said. He said he wants to see where he wants to retire at, what team he wants to finish it out. So this is probably coming in his last season. But I think here's the thing, and we could kind of finish it out with this. For me, adding somebody who can create that pressure is only going to improve Montez Sweat. It's only going to improve Javon Dexter. Look at how well Javon Dexter was playing opposite Andrew Billings, who turned into an elite pass rusher this year. His pass rush win rate, one of the highest in the NFL. We were losing our minds. We was like, who the heck is this defensive tackle? He's changed his entire identity of who he is, but how he was able to get to the quarterback, force that pressure on the quarterback. Those are things that help Montez Sweat. If you have that guy opposite of him, those are things that just make it easier. When you don't have a direction to escape to, it makes your life a lot harder. I think that Montez was a little bit banged up this year, but realistically speaking, this is kind of who Montez has always been. The anomaly for Montez was the 12-sack season. Now, this is completely lower, but Montez has been an 8 to 9 sack guy per season. I wouldn't expect him to be too much more than that. I think you're probably talking about maybe gets to 10, maybe gets to 11 sacks a season. He is that Josh Smith kind of guy. He is that, but I don't think he's ever going to be a 17 and a half, 18 and a half sack season guy. I think you kind of knew that when you paid him, but I like what we need to see more. Need to see more of what we saw the previous season, but I think that also comes with helping Montez out and giving him that guy who can rush opposite of him. Miguel Goncalves with the Super Chat says any of the top 5 head coaching candidates will be fine. For me, Poles is the number one thing. Poles is the one that needs to nail this draft. Carter, Ratledge, Booker, and Majors in that order, and we are looking good for the future.
Carter's not going to be there. Carter's not going to be there at number 10. He's a top 5 pick. That's the first rusher coming off the board.
Yeah, you probably not getting.
That's why I said I wanted 4. Yeah. You're not getting him at 10.
Maybe you can get him. We'll
you better hope.
Hey man.
Maybe we get that top pick.
I'll take it.
Maybe we get that top 4 pick. They're talking. There's conversation. No, I'm just joking.